What is going on, everyone? Brian here for Apocaflix Movies, and we are here. What is going on, everyone? Brian here for Apocaflix Movies, and we are here today to talk about Fandalorian, or the Mandalorian? The Fandalorian Club show. That is what we call it here at Apocaflix Movies. I am Grand Admiralcino. We are going to get into the 5th episode today of Mandalorian. Today with me, I am joined by my guest today.
What is up?
What do we know him as?
Call me Obi-Wan Jacobi.
Obi-Wan Jacobi.
The greatest Star Wars nickname ever,
yes,
in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Brian, I just want to say that was a beautiful start, man.
Thank you. Yeah. If you haven't noticed, Jake is not here running the show. The dark side has taken over, kicked the light side guy out, and I'm in charge today. So bear with me with
hey, we still got plenty of light side over here. Plenty of light side over here.
There's too much dark side over. But yeah, so we are getting into everything. We are talking Little Mandalorian today, episode 5, the Gunslinger.
The Gunslinger, yeah.
When I saw that, I immediately went, oh!
That should just be the name of the show.
Yeah,
the
right?
Gunslinger.
I immediately was like, oh, okay. I like the name. I like it. I'm digging it. But yeah, so we got a nice little episode today.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I just want to say, so like, I work at 8:45 in the morning, right? That's the time I have to be at work. And I woke up this morning at like 7:20-ish. Use the restroom, and then I come out. Wait a minute, Mandalorian, and I'm like, am I gonna have time to watch it before work? And I go and I pull up the runtime, and it says 35 minutes. And I usually have to leave my house around like 8:20, so I was like, I have just enough time to watch it. So started it, and I'm so glad I did because it was a great start to my day.
It's funny because this morning I was like, Jacob gonna even have time to watch this? Or am I about to do the show by myself?
I've been waking up early enough on Fridays to watch it before work.
Right, yeah. A strong man, because I would already be.
So I would have found a way. I would have watched it on my lunch break. We would have watched it right after work and just done it really quick. Something.
Yeah. So it was a great episode. Jon Favreau.
Well, Dave Filoni.
Or Dave Filoni, excuse me.
But I mean, Jon Favreau's killing this series.
Exactly,
I will say that. You're not wrong there.
Exactly.
But Dave Filoni did write and direct this episode.
Yep.
Which I thought, I mean, I don't know. Would you say it's an improvement over the first episode? Because that was his as well. This
one compared to the first? Oh, I love this one way more.
Okay.
You?
Not way more, because I love the IG-11 stuff in the first one. Like, the moment he shows up...
I always forget about that.
All right, the moment he shows up to that place where IG-11 shows up, from that point to the end of the episode is incredible. And one of the best, like, sequences in the whole show. But as an overall episode, this episode was better, I would say.
Okay, fair enough. I always forget about the IG-11 because into it. But let's just dive right into it. Let's just get straight into what we are talking about, which is Gunslinger. So the episode opens up in space, obviously.
Oh my goodness! I just remembered the opening of this.
Really? You think it opened in the hangar?
No. I knew the opening, but I wasn't thinking about the opening.
Yeah,
because that's not part of the story necessarily. Okay. The opening of this episode is awesome.
Okay,
it really
the space
is.
Battle looked.
Especially on the TV budget that they're on.
Yeah, I mean,
well, it's about $10 million an episode.
Oh, $10 million an episode. But yeah, it opens up in space. Nice little space battle we got going on. It kind of made me hate the Razor Crest a little bit because it just doesn't seem. It seems like a transport ship. I'm just kind of like, but he's going against this bounty hunter.
He was getting blasted.
He was getting annihilated.
Yeah,
and at one point he says,
"Take you in."
He says, I can bring you in warm or cold. And then
when he first said that, I was like, what? No, why would someone else say that?
Yeah.
Like, why would they write that into the show? Like, that's supposed to be the Mandalorian's line.
Yeah. And then he immediately, like, hits the brakes and shoots him down. That's my line.
That was so awesome.
He was like, no.
That was the best opening to any episode this season.
Oh, easily.
In my opinion.
Yeah. He immediately was like, that's my line. No, you die for that.
That was one of the coolest space battles
easily
I've seen in Star Wars.
So,
to be honest. Yeah.
And then we see him, he needs to land on a planet. So does he land? Freaking Mos Eisley.
Yeah, when they, I don't forget exactly what they said, but they're entering the Mos Eisley's. Yeah, I was like,
Mos Eisley Tower.
Yeah, I was like, no. Yes, that was so awesome.
I know, I jumped up and went, what? Like, I couldn't believe it.
And then, I think those droids first appeared in the prequels, right? In episode 1?
Yeah, so he lands in this random hangar. Immediately, it's the pit droids.
Yeah.
From
that was their first appearance, right? In Phantom Menace?
Yeah, Phantom Menace.
So some prequel love there.
Yeah, they were the pod racer droids. Where you bop them on the nose and they pop up.
It makes me think of Jar Jar Binks, unfortunately. But
I loved those little droids.
I like that they're incorporating things from the prequels.
Oh yeah,
awesome.
It's I mean, like them or hate them, it's
which is funny because this is past the original trilogy in timeline.
Yeah.
So droids live forever if you want them to. Yeah. So they'd still be around.
Yeah. So immediately the droids pop up. I like how one of them always kept kicking the other one in the head.
Yeah.
They start taking off towards the ship to repair it. No more than 2 steps.
Yeah. No droids.
Droids. And
he shoots at them.
He shoots at them. Yeah. And out comes the hangar master, if you will.
Yeah.
They didn't actually say her name, but I did look it up. It is Peli Moto. Did you figure out who played her?
I didn't recognize her. If it's somebody that I know,
until I looked it up.
If it's somebody that I know, I wouldn't know.
Do you know who Amy Sedaris is?
I know the name. That's her?
Yeah. She does a lot of comedy stuff. Comedy Central State.
Strangers
with Candy.
I figured she was a comedian.
Yeah,
she's a
comedian. Yeah. I had no idea it was her until I looked it up.
They got a lot of comedians in this show.
Yeah.
More than you'd think.
Yeah, they definitely do. And so she comes up, she checks out the ship, obviously. She's saying, like, up.
Yeah.
And money to get the ship fixed, obviously. So, what you gotta do? Has to go
find some work. Yeah, I actually really liked her. Like, overall, by the time the episode ended, I really liked her. She was a greedy. I mean, she's greedy because she needs money, but she's also a good person. Like, she got to get paid, right? But she took care of the...
I almost feel like greedy is a harsh word.
Yeah, you're right. It is. But I don't know how to... But she was about her money.
Yeah, I mean,
they made a point to be like, this woman is all about money. That's her main priority, which is fine.
She did have her own scene. We're going a little ahead. Where Baby Yoda
comes out and she says, like, "Oh, I'm gonna watch you and charge him more." Yeah.
Yeah. So, by the way,
but that's fine. She was still a good-hearted character. Like, even though she wanted more money for watching Baby Yoda, she still did it for a good reason.
Exactly.
You know?
So we jumped a little bit. But, by the way, say hi to Jake. Jake's commenting in.
Jake Berlin.
Mr. Jake Berlin, Qui-Gon Jake himself.
Qui-Gon Jake. Communicating through the Force.
There you go. So, but yeah. So, we see him. He takes off into the town. Very first thing we see, Stormtrooper helmets on pikes.
So, that scene is in the trailers. And I was wondering when we were going to see it. I was starting to think, are we never going to see that in the actual show? And it was pretty cool, especially on Tatooine, just because it's the home of Anakin and Luke, and so it was just cool to see that there.
Yep. Yeah. So takes off, goes through into the cantina. Except you notice that droids were in the cantina. There was actually a droid. Was the bartender.
Well, yeah, interesting. I did not think about that. That is really cool.
So, droids are in the cantina.
I like that because, obviously, we know the famous line, like, no droids, they have to wait outside. And then we see, the most important thing in A New Hope is protecting the droids at the beginning, and they just leave them outside, which is always funny to me. But, and that's interesting. It's kind of like a civil rights thing where, like, time has gone by, and in the last 40 years or whatever, 40 years, droids are now accepted in bars and they're working there now.
And he literally calls them bartender.
Yeah.
Actually, now that I think about it, he talked to the droid.
Well, he talks to droids,
yeah,
but in a mean way. He says, "Hey, droid." Like
yeah, pretty much.
That's what he said to the droid. He's like, "Hey, droid."
Yeah. So he talks to the droid, and asks for work for if the bounty hunter guild is there, and really,
and then wannabe Han Solo Jr. turns around.
That is the first thing I thought of. I was like, why does that kind of seem like he's trying to be like Han Solo
a little bit?
And so we got this kid sitting at a table saying that he's got a job for him.
Yeah, he introduces himself right away. It's Toro something, right?
Toro Calican. Is his
pretty cool name, and I saw that his name was Jake Cannavale at the end of the episode. Cannavale, and I was like, Bobby Cannavale. Wait, is that like his brother or something? I was wondering, and we just looked it up, and it's his son. It's his son. It's Bobby Cannavale's son.
No clue.
Which is freaking awesome. I thought I don't know his acting resume. I don't know how long he's been acting. He did a pretty good job. I haven't seen him in anything before. So I'm guessing he doesn't have that much experience. I don't know. But I thought he did a pretty good job for not somebody that we know.
I mean, I immediately thought like, oh, here's another person that's going to second character to Mandalorian. I didn't feel like it.
Well, I liked the character because at first he comes off all cocky, and then he's like, "Look, I'm just trying to get into the guild. Like, this is my job to get into the guild." So they show that his vulnerability and weakness, and I kind of like that. He's still a young. He's a young, like I don't know the word for it, but like kind of like a bratty kid in a way.
Kind of like a spoiled.
Yeah, it kind of seemed like that in a way, and I was up and down with the character. I liked him overall, but at certain moments I felt like he just like relax a little bit. Like he's trying too hard to be like have this swagger to him, like a Han Solo type. Mm-hmm. And I think he should have just turned it down a little notch. But I still liked the character.
Yeah, so he definitely like kind of was like this like cocky a little bit. But his main objective was to get into that bounty hunter.
And he says he doesn't care about the money. He just wants to get into the guild.
Yeah, he literally told Mando, like, guild money is yours. Or, excuse me, the bounty hunter.
All the money is yours. Which, how would he get it to him is what I'm wondering.
That's what I was wondering.
I mean, I'm sure he could transfer the credits, but Mando's going to wait that long?
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever. Nitpicky.
Maybe he has the money, he just gives it to him then already? Who knows?
I don't know. So, they make a deal whatsoever to find this bounty, which it turns out to be none other than Ming-Na Wen.
Yep.
Who's
awesome.
Is amazing. You know her as Agent May on Agent S.H.I.E.L.D. She was the voice of Mulan. Animated shows. I mean, she's a Disney legend. And her character's name is Fennec Shand. And she is this, like, mercenary that basically sounds like she's pretty feared. Like, she's well known.
I don't think she's in the guild, because obviously they're looking for her.
No, I don't think she's in.
But she's an assassin, and she's a well-known assassin.
Yes, because Mando immediately knows who she is.
Yep, and he's like, good luck with that.
Yeah, and makes it a point to say, like, oh, she works for the Hutts, stuff like that, too. Like, she's not something to be messed with.
And it's funny to me, because I'm wondering if the Mandalorian knew, like, she's very dangerous, and because obviously that kid, if he went after her on his own, he probably would have died. But it was the Mandalorian scared of her himself. I think a little bit. But I think he was like, I think the Mandalorian just always does what he needs to do. So he's like, screw it. I need the money to fix my ship.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
He definitely had a bit of hesitation once he saw who it was. It wasn't just like, all right, let's do this. He was like,
mm-hmm.
So, so they agree that that's who they're going to go after. And they come outside, and we've got the 2 speeder bikes.
Yes, as soon as he said get 2 speeder bikes, I was like, yes, I want to see some speeder bikes.
And then I like the little side comment too. Mando goes like, that's what we're using, and he goes, well, they're not Corellian.
Yeah, we're not on Corellia.
Yeah, it was just like, well, everything Corellia. But so then they take off into the deserts and see what I found probably the interesting part about the whole entire thing was they come across
the Tusken Raiders.
The Tusken Raiders. Yep. See the two like.
Well, first of all, I loved seeing them just riding the speeders through the sand.
Oh yeah,
that was just.
It was such a cool shot. Yeah. Like and it looked.
Yeah, it looked really good.
So when they stop, they see the Tusken Raiders. I can't remember what. Viral.
I'm
woolly man.
I'm not sure, but
I don't know.
That was a good scene though.
Yeah. So, but crazy thing is the kid was like, we have to kill them, but then all of a sudden show up behind him, and Mando starts talking to them.
Starts signing them.
He starts talking to them.
So I don't know. I couldn't tell if like they created a different sign language for the Tusken Raiders that only they communicate, or were they doing American Sign Language? I couldn't tell. Even though I'm taking American Sign Language.
Yeah,
right now.
I took 2 years of sign language, so you would think I would like have immediately looked. I was in such shock that I was just like,
yeah. Well, I like it because unless I don't know if this is in canon or not, but if not, like we learned something new about the Tusken Raiders, like. It kind of civilized them a little bit because think they just yell all the time and you can't communicate with them. But when the Mando starts signing with them, I was like, oh, yeah. It kind of made me look at them differently.
You took exactly what I was going to, because this is to me one of the most important parts of the whole episode is they are not wild animals. They are civilized, and
they probably just they can't speak like normal language.
Hence why they do sign language. Yeah. But that's huge. Only times we've ever seen them is in a fighting type of thing. Like, I mean, we see them in A New Hope.
See them as savages.
Immediately start.
Well, they're also in a Phantom Menace. They're shooting at the pod racers. Yeah.
And Mando immediately is just like, hey, let's talk. Mm-hmm. And then he
trades the kids binoculars for him.
Yeah,
that was the funniest line in the show to me when he's like, "Those were brand new," and he's like, "They were."
Yeah,
he just takes off too. He doesn't even wait for the kid to get on the speeder and follow him.
So
he just takes off.
Yeah. So he just basically hands off and they go. It was almost like.
I think the Mando knew that if they just went at it and tried to go without getting safe passage, they wouldn't have made it. Yeah. Who knows how many Tusken Raiders are out there? They would have got gunned down. Like, it's just unnecessary. So 100%. Might as well negotiate and trade his binoculars.
Yeah,
for him.
I mean, it almost like you said, it puts them in a different light. They're no different. Just make a trade, and they're out.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing because what are the creatures in episode 2? The little guys. I'm having
I don't know.
The guys who eat the egg.
Oh, the Jawas?
Yeah, the Jawas.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like what the Mandalorian is doing, it's taking things that we know in Star Wars, like the Jawas and the Tusken Raiders and Yoda's species, and bringing new light to them.
Yeah.
And showing us different perspectives
of them. Jawas are exactly the same.
Well, they are, but we got to know them a little bit more, though. We got to know them a little bit more.
The Jawas are just a little crazy.
Well, we knew they were thieves and they stripped parts and everything like that, but we didn't know that they would go so far to get to just snack on a little egg. Like,
what? They didn't even do anything.
They gave him all his parts back just so they could eat on an egg. Like, what?
Yeah, it was pretty funny. But so moving on from that, even though to me that was probably the most.
No, that was cool.
It was a very
I was
part.
Really taken in by that. I love that
part. So then they take off, keep going, and that's when they find the dewback walking like it.
There's just a dead guy hanging from it. Yeah,
which did you notice he kind of really looked similar to the bounty hunter that was fighting him in the plane in the thing. He had the same mask on and everything.
Yeah, but I don't think that was.
I don't think so either. Yeah. But I'm just saying it was just kind of. And immediately once they go to see if that was Fennec, boom! Someone shoots something at him. They take off, run over a mound. He gets saved by his armor
scar.
And jump over the hill, hide under it, and that's Fennec, very trained sniper, and trying to mow them down.
Yeah. I thought it was so funny that the Mandalorian's like, I'm gonna go rest.
Yeah. so that's the kid asks, what do we do? And he goes, nothing. She's got the high ground. I'm gonna take a nap. And he goes and takes a nap. He's like, you got watch. And he goes on watch. Fast forward to nighttime, tries to be like, you awake? Doesn't say anything back, and then starts like going. I love where he just goes, "Hun," and he's like, "Oh, yeah, we're good." And so that's when we see Sneak try to get into their little. I don't know what. They try to get through the high ground. Essentially, come up behind her. You get.
Well, that was they used. I don't know what they called.
Oh, that's right.
Like
I'm skipping a whole entire. Yeah, excuse me.
And I was like, okay, there's no way they're gonna get through. And then, but those things they like blinded her on the sniper. Yeah.
I forgot about
that was really cool.
Yeah. So they like took off on the speeder bikes to try to get to her. Mando's like shooting flares,
and she still gets him. she still gets him.
Murks his
Mando. Yeah. His bike. Yeah.
Bike. And destroys the bike, but is somehow able to get around her, cause her to stumble, and Mando gets in there. They end up capturing her. She does whoop.
Oh yeah, there was no question. Yeah. He was going to be dead in a second if Mando didn't show up.
But so we have her in custody, and right before they're go to take her back, they're like, crap. She just destroyed one of our ships.
So now we're leading up to the part where Toro and her have a discussion about the Mandalorian and the child. But I think what's very important about the beginning of the episode is the Mandalorian is acting very carelessly, and I don't understand why. So look, why would he leave the child alone in the ship? Like,
we did forget about.
Don't do that under these circumstances.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
And then you're bringing this guy who's in the Bounty Hunters Guild. You're allowing her to walk outside of the shipyard with the Baby Yoda in his hands, letting other people see him. Yeah, he's being very careless, which I don't know if that is the writers or the directors like not noticing this or not understanding that that's stupid, or is the Mandalorian messing up? Is the Mandalorian maybe flawed a little careless? Yeah. I don't know, but when he was doing that, I understand why they did it, because he had to have seen the child to know that the Mando had the child in the first place when she mentions him. But I was like, I don't think the Mandalorian's that dumb. I don't think he would let anyone other than her at this point see the child. Yeah. So I was just a little thrown off about that. But that leads us to their discussion. Yeah.
So Mandalorian's like, I'm gonna. Well,
he goes to get the dewback. He tells
the guy to go get the dewback. He's like, I'm not doing it. And it's like, all right, fine, I'll go get it. Takes off to go get the dewback, and that's when to have a conversation. He persuades him that set me free. We'll take Mando to the Bounty Hunter Guild.
And I was like, yeah, right. As soon as he takes those cuffs off, she's gonna kill him.
Me too. I was waiting for her to just.
And I was actually surprised that he shot her. Yeah. To be honest,
so
I was thinking, okay, he's dumb enough to believe her that she's gonna work with him.
Yeah, so he makes the move to go take the handcuffs off, or he makes the move to take the handcuffs off and shoots her right in the chest, which I immediately was like, no! Like, I was taken aback. I couldn't believe that. And I was like,
yeah, exactly.
And then,
well, it's funny because he killed his bounty, and then killed his bounty. We'll see, but and then he realizes he has a bigger prize, on his hands,
which is the Mandalorian, and so back notices that she's there dead in the sand, and takes off back to the hangar. I'm sure at that point,
well, he figured it out.
Crap, Baby Yoda
figured it
too.
Out,
which we then see him walk into the hangar. Mandalorian is looking around and here's boy something along the lines of and comes out of the ship. Lady is holding Baby Yoda, and that's when.
No, I think he was holding Baby Yoda, and she was in front of him. He was holding the gun on her.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Yeah.
He had the gun like this. He was holding her,
and he tells her hands up, and then tells her to cuff him.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. And but he has one of those spark flares.
And I was like, I knew the Mandalorian's like,
of course, he's
not gonna just.
I thought he might do this and use one of his whistling birds.
It's funny that he used the tool that they used earlier, because even though the guy Toro surprised me sometimes, he wasn't as dumb as he seemed. He's still kind of dumb.
Yeah.
So he's got to think. He knows the Mandalorian's so smart and just has a lot of stealth and agility. So, like, why would he think that the Mandalorian's not going to be able to get out of this?
Yeah, totally. And it's funny because when she goes to handcuff him, she goes, "Oh, you're not as stupid." Look,
she's just the way she talks. Yeah.
And so launches the little flare in the air. Bada bing, bada boom. The guy is dead. And that was the end of that. They take off. He gives her all of his money. Yeah,
so I like that because
that part.
The thing is, like, he must have had that money already, but it was maybe his backup money or whatever.
I'm assuming that was just. I kind of almost took it as like a rich kid that wanted to like bounty hunter, and he had like a pack of cash. Because he took the money off the kid.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that was his money. I didn't see that.
He took the stash of money off the dead body and like.
Oh, he dumped it on her. Okay.
Yeah.
And it was obviously more than what he owed her because she's like, whoa. She's like, that'll do.
Yeah, it was like falling out of her hand. And it's off. I think that episode is over, and all of a sudden, Fennec just laying dead in the sand.
Yeah.
Someone kneeling down and immediately.
So, all right. So there's a few questions here, and then the episode ends, right?
Immediately
so there's a few questions here. One, is Fennec not dead? Like, how? If she's not dead, how does she survive that? Interesting. I didn't think she was dead because there's no way you bring her in, and for that she probably had less than 2 minutes of screen time. There's no way you bring her in to do that.
I would be very disappointed.
I'm guessing yes, she's alive. I think she's alive somehow. I don't know. Maybe she had like the clothing she's wearing is resistant, but like it's still like getting punched in the chest really, really hard.
Knocks her out.
So it knocked her out.
Because Mando did not go over and check her.
So I bet you his armor could tell you if someone's dead. His mask could read their their body heat or whatever and tell you if someone's dead. I bet you. Does. And then, but another thing is, I'm pretty sure that was the Mandalorian, but they don't show us that was for sure the Mandalorian picking her up.
Really? You think it's Mandalorian?
No, I don't. I mean,
that's who you think it is?
Yeah, if I was forced to put $5 on it, I would just say, yeah, it's the Mandalorian, but they don't want us to know for sure. But he had the cape and the boots and all that stuff. You saw that on the person who picked her up.
I think it might be guy from.
Oh yeah,
Giancarlo Esposito.
Yep, you're right. I think it probably is because they didn't want us to see who it was, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure because I gotta watch it again. The lighting was pretty bad. I couldn't really see, but like I knew it was a boots and a cape, right? And the Mandalorian has that, so I was like, oh, is that the Mandalorian picking her up? And they just don't want us to know, but that makes a lot of sense because I think in the trailers he is wearing a cape. Giancarlo Esposito,
that's what made me think of it. My other guess was Karga.
I'm not sure. I mean, it's somebody important for sure, and it's interesting because most of the time, the Mandalorian leaves the planet, like he's just moving on. He's jumping around different planet to planet, right? Is he going to stay on Tatooine for going forward, or are they going to go after him?
I'd stay. Good chance. Like you don't just like drop on Mandalorian.
They didn't show his ship take off into space.
No.
So that's what I'm saying. I think they're playing with us. Like, was that the Mandalorian who picked her up, or was it not? Like, who knows?
The only thing that makes me think it wasn't Mandalorian is like,
well, because she could tell people that he saw him on Tatooine.
I guess,
but maybe he wants to force her to work with him. I don't know. Like maybe he wants to get her to work with him. But no, it's probably not him. Probably not.
Yeah. I think if I put money on I would say John.
That makes sense.
We haven't seen him yet.
Because if it was the Mandalorian, why wouldn't they just show us? Like, there's no reason to hide it. So I think that makes sense. But the thing for me, it cut from the Mandalorian leaving to that right away. So who knows? Who knows? I'm sure people have already know online. They already figured it out.
I'm sure. But yeah, I mean, we got a lot this episode. We got Return to Tatooine, Mos Eisley. We're seeing how things. Mos Eisley.
And everyone's been saying, like, do you think he's going to go to Tatooine? And he went to Tatooine.
I did not.
So cool.
I don't know if I ever thought. I knew he would go to somewhere similar to Tatooine. I don't think I ever thought, like, they're not going to go. They're not going to go to Mos Eisley and Tatooine. Like, maybe somewhere else on Tatooine. I never would have. I think they're going to stay. I think they're going to stay on that. Maybe go somewhere else.
Oh, on Tatooine?
Yeah.
That would be cool if, like, the rest of the season just takes place. I mean, there's only 3 episodes left. So if the rest of the season just takes place on Tatooine, because we know he's going to have a throwdown with Giancarlo Esposito and some stormtroopers.
Yeah,
so
I mean, there's still a lot, I feel like, that we saw in the trailers that we haven't seen.
Well, the thing is, the way most shows, right? You know what's going to happen the next episode, where the characters are at.
Yeah.
In this show, you don't know what's going to happen the next episode.
Ever.
You don't know.
You don't even get the title of the episode.
You don't know where he's going, what he's going to do, anything. So I like that, though. I love that.
I mean, you literally don't know. I love that they don't give you a preview.
Oh, absolutely. I love that.
That is one of my favorite things because, like, I love and hate those. I love those because it gets me excited.
Like at the end of Arrow, they show you the ads for the next episode.
Yeah. So, I mean, part of me is like, oh, I don't want to see like a little tease, but the other part of me is like,
nah, I'm good with it. I don't even know the name of the episode until it starts. I love that.
Neither do I.
Yeah.
I know, because I was talking to Jake last night, and I was like, we need to find the name of the episode. I'm not looking up the name of the episode before it airs. Yeah. I'm like,
and I like that it doesn't show any of the cast members before, like the names of the cast members before it starts, because I don't want to know, like, if I would have, if you see certain names, you're expecting those actors to show up and things like that. Yeah.
So that was our Dave Filoni. Rick Fukuyama is directing
the next one. Yep.
Which, I mean,
well, his episode is my second favorite, very close to my first favorite, which is episode 3. But those episodes 3 and 2 are the best so far. Like, I mean, most people agree with that. For me, 3 and 2 are just neck and neck as my 2 favorite episodes. And then I really like 1, and then Sanctuary and this one are pretty good. I put the rest on an equal level, kind of. Like if 3 and 2, I rate them as a 9 each, then these other 3 are like 7.5 to 8s.
Yeah.
It's if I were to rank them.
Number 3 is on like its own platform right now. Like, Deborah Chow directed the crap out of it.
I mean, I love that episode, but I feel like people put too much emphasis on when the Mandalorians show up at the end. Like, if it wasn't for that, is it really like so much better than episode 2? Like I like them both almost equally. So 2 and 3.
I just like that whole 2. I mean, 2 was really good. 2 was really.
I think I love episode 2 because like when he fights, is it the Matterhorn or what do they call it?
The Matterhorn.
What do they call it? The beast.
Right.
Yeah. What? It's something horn.
Something horn.
So when he fights the beast and with the reveal that Baby Yoda's Force sensitive. Like, I just,
Yeah.
that moment was so magical
That
to
is
me.
true.
That was like the magical Star Wars moment. Like, I'm not saying it's on this level, but that was like Luke grabbing the lightsaber in Empire for the first time, like having it come to him. Like, seeing the Baby Yoda do that and having that revealed was such a special Star Wars moment for me. So that's why I put number 2 so high. So I have 2 and 3 neck and neck.
Point.
If I had to rank the last 3, I would. I really like Sanctuary after rewatching it.
I like Sanctuary. Like, a lot of people have bashed that one probably more than anyone. I've never had a problem.
I think I like Sanctuary, and then maybe this one, and then episode 1 last. But they're all good, though.
Yeah,
they're all good to great, like in between there somewhere.
I feel like it's a little hard to like little episode 1.
It's hard to rank them too. It's not fair to rank them, but everyone ranks them. It's fun too. Yeah, it's fun to say what your favorite or.
You're not going to throw the ending of episode 3 in.
Of course not. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, they're progressively getting like, I wouldn't say better, but like get more
interesting.
Yeah,
like, we're learning more and more about
the stories of
Mandalorian, about the world, about how the state like. We don't really learn the state of the galaxy, but we learn what it's kind of like in these outer planets.
Very like Western, kind of like.
Well, it's like the Wild West.
Yeah, exactly. There's no. It almost kind of feels like there's like no laws, and they're just kind of like.
Because they're still figuring out. It's only 6 years after Return of the Jedi, so like, there's the New Republic is still forming and getting things together, and so it's cool. I like it.
It's funny because when he paid the Singer person, he paid her in Imperial credits, and I was like, waiting for her to go like. We don't accept those anymore.
The Imperial credits that in the first episode, when he was offered Imperial credits, he said those are no good anymore.
Exactly. That's I saw that part and I was like, those aren't worth anything, but you in mind. So.
They must have some value still, but just
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure a place like Tatooine.
Yeah, because otherwise she's not stupid. She wouldn't take them if she didn't know. Yeah. I
loved the. I'm so glad they. I want to say that's almost one of the first things they've connected to the first 3 movies.
The Mandalorian?
Yeah.
Well, I think he's in
like
the
outright.
The flashbacks are during the Clone Wars, though.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, but other than that, still, it's cool that we're getting these prequel references.
I
sure.
I forgot the battle droid,
and I mean the Camino Doctor as well. So. It's very obviously.
So I'm wrong.
It's very heavily influenced by the original trilogy.
Yeah,
make no mistake. But it's awesome that they're incorporating prequel stuff because we grew up on the prequels, and I'm done like people being ashamed of their love for the prequels.
Yeah.
Like we're past that now, so I'm glad we're getting that in the Mandalorian.
Oh.
And I want them to acknowledge them more in movies too. Not necessarily Rise of Skywalker, but.
Yeah, so it's late now.
Like any movies going forward.
Unless you're going to put Qui-Gon in.
Oh, we'll save that for the Obi-Wan series. He's going to be in it. Force Ghost Qui-Gon.
Oh, man.
100%.
I cannot. So there you go, guys. Our reaction to episode 5, The Gunslinger of The Mandalorian. I mean, it's a great show. You can't knock it. There's nothing you can really complain about for this show. But so check us out all over on YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, you name it, we're there. Check out Apocaflix now, which is drop on Saturday now. Well, not this week because it's not live, but check us out on the weekends. We've got new stuff, Nerd Nation, whole bunch of stuff that we got over on this channel. So for Apocaflix Movies, thank you for joining us on the Fandalorian Club. I am Brian, also known as Grand Admiralcino. This is Jacob, Obi-Wan Jacobi.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, Obi-Wan Jacobi. So thank you for joining us, and may the Force be with you.
Hey everyone, Jacob Bartley here. Thanks for watching. If you want to check out something similar from Apocaflix Movies, click this video up here. You want something a little bit different? Check out this video down here. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to Apocaflix Movies and let us know your thoughts in the comments section. We always love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.